Hey everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Majette Ironman Players Meeting. Before we get started, I do want to do a couple quick shout outs. Our lead sponsor for this event is Beach Cooling. We can't run these events and provide value like we do without our great sponsors. So if you know Josh and Jim White in the club, they play with us a lot. Those are the guys. So they're Beach Cooling. Jim's been incredibly generous with his time playing with us, a great member of the community, and also generous with his money for this event. So really thankful for those guys. So please, if you see them out on the course, let them know that you appreciate them. If you have AC needs and are in Bay County, give those guys a call. Beach Cooling will come out. They have a 5-star review on Facebook. They're very clearly doing things the right way, and they want to help you out. Also, want to shout out our partner charity, Hope Project. Hope Project's based in North Bay County, and they work with veterans with PTSD, and they provide equine therapy. And for those who don't know what that is, that's therapy with horses. So we got a chance to go up there last October, Ryan Best and I. We visited the area, got to see what they're doing. Just a really incredible group of people who are really making sure that our heroes who go abroad, when they come back, they feel a part of this and they are not having to deal with things that no one should have to deal with. So, a really great charity. They also work with our partner charity of Gulf Coast Children's Advocacy Center to work with children who have been abused or assaulted. So really just a great part of our community and excited to work with those guys again to help them work with people who are in need. Um, One other shout out, Ryan Best. You guys probably know him. He is the local pro for us. So Ryan is the TD for this event. He's put in a ton of effort and work to make sure that this thing goes well. I'm really excited to have him here for this event. For those that don't know, this will be the last event that Ryan TDs for us before he moves on to his next assignment in the Air Force. So make sure you let him know that you appreciate him. Tell him thanks for running these events and for kicking off the Ironman. We'll have some news coming up on exactly how that will transition going into next year. Cool. Well, that is the bulk of the shout outs. Also, a quick shout out to our assistant TD, Dustin. You may know him as the Squid Master General. Dustin's done a great job of retrieving discs and trying to get those back to people. If you don't know, if you lose a disc at Majette, which there will be disc loss this weekend, our squids get those back. They get them back to the club, and for $7, which is roughly our cost, we'll ship those back to you. So you can throw with confidence, knowing that if the disc goes in the water, we find a large portion of those, and then we do our best to get those back to you. Let's talk about the event. So the event is this Saturday, and it kicks off at 8:20. So we normally start at 8:30. We're 10 minutes earlier because it's hot and we're playing 3 rounds. Um, so 8:20 is going to be our start. You get there a little early. 7:30 we'll be handing things out. Players pack for this event is going to be a disc, custom disc with a really cool stamp. We've got a water bottle for you that you can use to fill up so that you don't get dehydrated through the day. We'll talk about that in a minute. We also have a couple of Gatorade pouches that'll have some electrolyte fluid or electrolyte drink fluid when you mix it with water to keep you well hydrated for the day of event. Also included in the players pack is after the 3 rounds, we're going to have a Kona ice truck come out. So you'll have a Kona ice truck. You'll be able to do that. That will be included in your players pack. So you don't have to pay for that. You go up there, get you some ice, and enjoy the fact that you survived the 3 rounds and you get to cool off a bit with some ice while we do all of the awards and everything at the end. So that's your players pack. There will be a payout. We're paying out the top 40, I believe 45% for this event. That'll go through Flight Factory, so you will receive an email after the fact. And then trophies are really cool. I meant to have one for this, but I don't. They're actually horseshoes donated from the Hope Project. So they're part of our charity. They have a leather label on there to indicate the division and the place you finished. We have trophies for first place. But yeah, so if you win, you'll get a horseshoe from the Hope Project to remind you of the charity we're donating to. Speaking of the charity, part of your entry fees, a part of our sponsorships, and any donations we received went to the charity. We're currently just north of $2,000 raised. Our goal was 2,000, so we knocked that out of the park. But if you want to donate, honor a veteran with a poster that we will include with the donation, or if you just want to like support what they are doing, let us know. You can PayPal us at baycountydiscgolfclub@gmail.com, or you can Venmo us at baydgc. And then just include in the comments that you're donating to there, and if you want to honor a veteran, who that is. And then minimum donation for the poster inclusion is $25. So if you know somebody you want to make sure gets recognized, donate $25, and we'll add them to the poster when we design that. Moving on to the event. So as I mentioned, we're doing 3 rounds. If you are in novice or juniors, you're playing red all 3 rounds. So you're playing the red layout the first round, red layout the second round, red layout the third round. If you are playing any other division, you're going to play blue the first round, so the longs. You're going to play white the second round, which is like our intermediate layout, and then the final round will be on reds. As far as timing, like I said, first round will tee off at 8:20. We will play that round. At the end of that round, whenever the last card comes in, we will have an hour break for lunch. We will have a food truck on site. Copper Grill's going to be on site for us again. Those guys are awesome. Stoked that they're coming over for Crest Yusu. We will have a food truck on site. They've been really good about getting things out on time. Hour after the last card, we will start the second round. We will do the second round, and then the third round is going to start about 20 minutes after the conclusion of the second round. That'll give us time to redo cards. Just as a heads up, we are going to sort of restructure where people start. As you know, the tournament central for Majette is a decent walk from the furthest holes. So the people who finish on the front side of the property will start their second round on the back side of the property, and vice versa. People who start on the back side of the property will, finish on the back side of the property will start on the front side of the property. The reason for that is we don't want anyone to not be able to come back and grab waters, get more fluid in them, or load up their bag with more liquid for the round. So this makes sure that the people who walk the longest will only walk that once. So you walk back to Tournament Central, and then you'll have a close tee assignment. If you have a close finishing hole, you will walk to the longer one. I know this is different than how most tournaments do it, but with a short turnaround, the incredibly hot day, and the high heat index, this is the way we feel like it is the safest for our players. Speaking of player safety, really important. If you're watching this video now, you should be hydrating. If you start hydrating Saturday morning, you will not make it through the day. I don't want to scare you, but I don't want you to scare me the day of. So you need to start hydrating ASAP. Drink as much water as possible. You should be drinking at least a cup an hour up until the day of, and then you should be drinking about a gallon per round. We will do our best to have things on site. But at the end of the day, you alone are responsible to make sure that you alone are hydrated. It is your responsibility to make sure that you bring enough fluid, that you have enough liquid for the day, that you carry enough with you on the course, because it's going to be hot. We got a heat index north of 110 degrees. It's going to be humid. It's going to be very hot out there. We want people to finish. We want people to have a good time. Continuing with safety, if you don't feel well, let's say you start feeling cold, you stop sweating, you're unable to drink anymore, let somebody know and get off the course. We don't want anybody to have heat stroke. If you have heat stroke once, it puts you at higher risk at heat stroke for the rest of your life. And while we want this to be an event you remember and cherish for the rest of your life, we don't want you to have a negative memory of it. That's why we're so adamant that you drink lots of water ahead of time, you drink lots of water the day of, and you continue drinking water. And if you don't feel well, get out of the sun, get to shade. Nobody is going to be mad at you for DNFing because you didn't feel well. Nobody's going to talk smack. We all have to do the best to take care of ourselves because we have jobs and lives outside of disc golf that we want to take care of. Continuing with player safety, if after 2 rounds, let's say it gets crazy, the heat index is in the 130s and 140s, and like we just blow the forecast out of the water, and we feel that it's unsafe to continue, we will reserve the right to cancel the third round. We don't anticipate that being a thing right now. We do want to let you know, though, that the third round, if we reach a point where it's unsafe to continue, much like with Lightning, we will reach the point where we will say, all right, we are canceling the third round. We'll do awards. The Kona Ice Truck will still be coming. They'll be a little late from that perspective. So you're welcome to stick around and get your Kona Ice. But we are going to be watching that. Right now, the forecast is pretty good. We're not looking at something that's incredibly dangerous. We're looking at something that's going to be very hot. And if you hydrate well, will be a fun, hot memory for the rest of your time while you're playing disc golf, to talk about whenever you go to another one and just be like, I played this crazy tournament. It was super hot, and but I survived it. I made it through. So that's all the player safety things. I think most people know the course, so I won't do a full run through. If you didn't play it in April, hole 13 is shaped a bit differently. It's more hourglass shaped. So you want to take a look there. We do have a sign indicating 150 feet to the pin. But ultimately, you're throwing more of a placement shot as opposed to a wide open fairway. As always, water is OB, but you do get 2 meters from the edge, and everything else is included in the caddy book. Ryan's been out there painting lines. We've got flags. Should be relatively easy to know. If you don't know, chances are somebody on your card has played the course before. Feel free to ask them. If you also, nobody knows, you can actually scan the QR code on the T sign, and that will take you to our online caddy book. And that digital caddy book has all of the rules, overviews, everything you need to know, with the exception of the small changes on 13, which will be in the live scoring app. Live scoring. The live scoring app is going to be used for the official scoring for this. You should have two people keeping score, one on the live scoring app and one on however you choose. If you both use live scoring, though, it will let you know if there is a problem with the scoring at the moment it happens, so you can reconcile that, and you don't have to be at the end being like, I think I took a 4, but maybe it was a 5. It just makes it a lot easier. So the preference is that everybody uses the live scoring app. At least two people on the card. You can have more use it, and that way you can focus on everything you need for the round and make sure that your scores are accurate. If you haven't used live scoring before, it's pdga.com/score. There's an access code, and then from the access code, you can type in your number. It will pull up your card, and everything will be there for you. Let's see. We want to talk about the access code itself. So the access code for this one is Tony Stark. That's TonyStark. If you're a superhero fan, you'll know why. He is the Iron Man. So access code is Tony Stark. 3 rounds, 2 people keeping score every round. That is the bulk of it. So once more, just a huge shout out to Beach Cooling. Those guys have been incredibly generous. They are a key factor in us being able to do this. Huge shout out to Hope Project. We're excited to raise over $2,000, doubling our contribution last year. Ace Hardware will be there vending. I forgot about that. So Ace will be out there, also very generous. They've donated a lot to our club to make sure we can continue supporting our community. Copper Grill will be there for lunch. Kona Ice will be there after the 3rd round. Live scoring. It's going to be a blast. We really hope the player experience is great. We hope you enjoy the players pack. You're going to get a cool water bottle, and we hope you keep that full. It is 32 ounces, so you will probably want to bring an additional water bottle. Don't plan on that being your only source. And please just make sure, drink water now, drink water tomorrow, drink water on Saturday. And if you're not drinking at least a gallon of water per round, you're probably going to fall behind. So 3/4 of a gallon to a gallon per every 2 hours is kind of the suggested amount, plus breaks. You should anticipate drinking about 3 gallons over the course of the day. It sounds crazy. It's a ton of water. But around noon, if you're not on that pace, you'll realize it. And we want everybody to finish, have fun, and have the best experience on the last one. So thank you guys. Thank you very much to Ryan for running this event. Thank you to everybody who's crazy enough to sign up and play 3 rounds at Majette in the heat of summer. Thank you to our service members and our veterans who we are really looking to support with this. And thank you to everyone who sponsors. We'll see you guys on Saturday. And if you would, just right now, before I finish this video, go get you some water. Drink that water now, and then go drink some more water. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you.